Hello guys, welcome back to the crew Weltron Driving All Cars, part number 72. What do you want, sir? Okay, so he has a Hummer, I don't. I'm in a Nissan Fairlady Z432. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the latest situation is. Can you get your hands on it or can't you get your hands, or only for crew credits? I'm not so sure. What is sure is that it sort of comes with the season pass. It's one of those cars like the Countryman and this Fairlady, the Eldorado. You can buy them. If you have the season pass, they're sort of, I don't know, somehow linked to that. Personally, I bought the complete edition, and that meant that I had the season pass, all the DLC packs, and so coming with it. And so I could get my hands on this thing. It has two specs, being the dirt and the performance one. The dirt spec has one problem, and that is something that we will immediately see here, and that is the acceleration. Other than that, it is a pretty good dirt spec. Why do people always blow their horns or something? I don't know why you do that, guys, but there is something called in the game, and it's called a chat box. If you want something, you can speak there. If you press F7, you can speak to all people in the area. And once you're in a crew, you go to F5, and then you have a sort of a crew chat box. You can use that, really. You should try that sometime, instead of just standing next to each other and blow some sort of song out of your horn. Really. It all goes pretty slow meanwhile, with this thing here. 27.837. Well, can't really call that fast. 26.203 I think for the rough, which is the fastest, and well, maybe one or two 28s, but other than that, the better dirt specs do 26 seconds something. The slower ones 27, so this is acceleration wise one of the slower ones. And here we are stuck again in our little black screen situation. Let's see if I can find it. Now here it is. It also has a performance spec, and this is probably one, well, I don't see it often in PvP, but it is a bit underestimated, I think. It appears to be slow, but as you will see, it's not really. The fastest car in performance that we have tested so far is LaFerrari with 22.5 seconds. Five gears. Well, here's a little surprise. At least for some it will be a little surprise. 22.888. A lot of 23 and 24 second cars in performance. This one 22.8 on 1 mile drag. So acceleration is a minus for this car for the dirt spec, but not for the performance spec. And also handling wise, it's not that bad. And top speed wise, it's also not that bad. It is, I think it's even the highest top speed. If you do this in a crew, it can reach 434 kilometers an hour. Comparing to a Huayra, kinda limits at 427, 428. What else do we have there is Saline, that sort of limits at 430, 431 for the M4. And this one at 434. So I'm thinking speed trap performance spec in Las Vegas, you're gonna end up with this one. And that's something people probably don't think about. They're not gonna use this thing. Also in PvP you don't see it very often. But yeah, sometimes you find these things out. I think it was Summit PvP or something where we get that scar and I thought, oh, it's not that bad. Bit of underestimated in performance. In such a way that well, it might even be close to the top 5. You're not gonna beat an Huayra or a LaFerrari with it, but if you're talking McLaren 12C, McLaren F1, Ferrari 458, sort of that kind of region, which are more or less top 5 or surrounding the top 5 in performance, top 5, top 10, you're also gonna end up with this thing. You can win from those cars. Not from the top of the bill, but the sub-top definitely belongs to in performance. Here we go, 411 kilometers an hour. Highest we've seen here so far in performance, I think. Of course you have the bikes like the Kawasaki that can do, I'm not sure what it can do, 416 circuit spec, that I know, but 440 something, I think. But if you can't use the bike, then this is the one with the highest top speed in performance. And I don't think that there is one that goes over it. With slipstream 434 on the downhill there, 411, 412. So the top speed is definitely plus, also the handling is pretty decent. Acceleration for the dirt spec is not that good though. But it's also decent for the performance, well, not decent, it's even good for the performance, so yeah, the performance spec is way underestimated by some, I think. Also the dirt spec, again, is not a bad car. It has the handling, it has the brakes. But here comes the problem of the acceleration into play, and that, yeah, that's where you're gonna lose out against the Rubs and BMW's X6 and stuff like that. But also in dirt, it's yeah, it's an option. For the 5th, 6th place, sub-top for sure. And the reason that isn't really top is because of the acceleration, but other than that, not a problem with this thing. And that's all personal preferences, I guess, but yeah, sort of giving an overall view in these videos. And it also has a pretty good NOS. You're instantly, if you press that, you're instantly gaining 20-25 km an hour or something. So don't use full nitro bars, but just little spams like this, and then you will keep this thing going. Sort of have to spam the boost a bit. The nitro, the nuts, whatever you want to call it. And then you can smoothly keep going with this thing on a road or track. But yeah, there are no speed traps or anything in dirt. So which probably leaves us with the best use, eventually gonna end up with the performance spec. Because that can be used even in races, it's definitely not bad, it's even a bit underestimated I think in performance. And it sure can be used for speed traps in case we can't use a bike. Because it has the highest top speed in performance with 434 kilometers an hour. In under slipstream, that is with some friends in the crew. I'm thinking Japanese qualifiers, yeah. Then we're gonna end up with the Nissans. I think this one is definitely better than 370Z, although that's also not that bad. Skyline. I kinda like the Skyline, but it's yeah, it's the same in street. It's pretty much oversteering all the way and don't have that much with this one. But the Skyline has the better acceleration, and in the end that's probably going to matter. So on Japanese qualifiers, Skyline or this one of the two. Might depend on the track. But it's definitely a good third spec, and it's also a good performance spec. The only problem is you're gonna end up against a few better cars available in this game. But just a few. There will also be a bunch that you will just smoke, both in dirt as in performance. But if you're in a lineup with BMW X6, the roughs, maybe even something like BRZ, yeah, then you're gonna have to fight with this thing. But you will keep up for sure. So, dirt in performance, I would say, well, if only for the reason that it's underestimated, go for the performance spec. But definitely keep an option open for the dirt spec as well. We'll see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.